Hello. In this video, we're going to take a look at creating charts. Specifically, we're going to look at creating SQC, Q, and ARV charts. To create a chart, first select the desired lab area. Right-click to display the options menu and select New Chart. This will bring up the Chart Setup window. The General tab allows a space for basic information such as unit of measure and method ID. The test ID must be unique within a given lab area. Select the desired chart type from the drop-down menu. All fields on the General tab are required except for the last update. If you try to click OK without all required fields, missing fields will be highlighted in red, and this question mark button will appear, which details the missing fields. The Statistics tab provides a place for basic statistical information. Use decimals to choose the number of significant digits for your chart. Be sure to choose a high enough number, as choosing too few can prevent charts from distinguishing points. There is a place for repeatability, reproducibility, as well as an option to show one or the other on a chart. If you are creating an ARV chart, the ARV value, upper control limit, and lower control limit are required fields. There's also a place to put in a control sample value. The Calculation tab allows you to specify settings for calculating limits, moving range, and f-tests. The pull method determines how variance for each group is pulled. There's an option to fix limits at a specified number of samples. We can recalculate the center line or fix the group 1 mean as the center line throughout the chart. There's the option to calculate moving range between groups, or in other words, calculate moving range between the final sample of the previous group and the first sample of the following group. There's an option to calculate group 1 moving range limits. If the chart is a Q chart, these options will be enabled. The historical standard deviation will become a required field. There's a place to specify the number of samples the historical standard deviation is based upon. There's also an option to include the historical standard deviation in f-tests. To use this feature, the chart must be within pull method composite, and the historical count will become a required field. There's an option to fix the Q center line at a specified number of samples, and to have an inclusive Q center line, which includes the current sample in the calculation of its Q center line. The Data Entry tab allows you to control results entered into the chart. If this option is selected, you can enter in a maximum and a minimum value. You can choose to warn an analyst if a result is outside this range, or you cannot allow values outside this range. The Alert tab allows you to specify email addresses that will receive alerts for run rule violations and statistical test failures. Multiple email addresses may be entered. Separate each by a semicolon. The History tab tracks changes in settings over the life of a chart. It is not pertinent for chart setup. It will be covered in more detail in the following video outlining chart features. When chart setup is complete, click OK to add the chart.